personally. Because we all represented different communities in San Francisco. So if you feel like you can overcome the stage fright and get up there and make a public comment, that's great. Okay, so hey, there's just one more chant, and that's the thing about the dogs and the birds, because this is totally, we are not the dogs against the birds. We've been sharing these spaces for decades, and we believe that we can continue to share them right now. So here's the chant. We like dogs and we like birds. We all get along, haven't you heard? We like dogs and we like birds. We all get along, haven't you heard? We like dogs and we like birds. We all get along, haven't you heard? We like dogs and we like birds. We all get along, haven't you heard? You know, anybody who wants to help improve and modify these chants for the next rally, you're welcome. Well, so I'm not sure if she wants to speak, but I want to just bring her up here with me. So this is Angela Gardner from the San Francisco Professional Dog Walkers Association. Is Nancy Stafford here too? Okay, so before you speak, I just want to say one thing. And Nancy, so they've been awesome. How many people here have a dog walker? We depend on these folks. Basically, if we work and we're going to be out of the house, for some of us 10 or 12 hours a day, they come to our homes, they have keys, we trust them. They keep our pets exercise so they don't act crazy or aggressive. They're a really integral part of our lives. And before Angela speaks, I want to say that they have a separate issue that's going to be discussed here. It's about permitting for dog walkers. So if you care about your dog walker, if your life depends on your dog walker, we need to comment on that section of the hearing as well. And I want to say that ProDog and Sierra Trupelli, who is a high school student who's here, and Yapsy, we brought together a letter of people that own businesses that are pet businesses or dog-related businesses, small businesses that feel that they could be impacted by the GGNRA proposal. And more than 60 businesses signed this letter to the supervisors saying, we oppose the GGNRA plan. We think it's bad for dog businesses in San Francisco, and it's especially going to hurt dog walking businesses. So give a big round of applause to Angela Gardner of SF Pro Dog.
Hi, many thousands, hundreds of San Franciscans depend on us daily, and we need to be able to get dogs out so they get enough exercise, so they're better behaved, better socialized. And what the GGNRA is planning will also affect us economically. Have a negative effect on San Francisco and many small businesses. So we really don't support what the GGNRA is proposing. Thank you.
So the next person who's going to come, well, before I even say who it is, I wanted to ask if there's anybody like Arnita Bowman or anybody, maybe 2 or 3 people who have been planning that you're going to make a public comment, would want to come up and tell the crowd the comment that you plan to make and how this is going to impact you. So if you want to come up here and talk to me while the next person is speaking, that would be cool, because it's not just like people who are the leaders of these dog groups, it's everybody, because it's the impact on us that's going to make a difference. It's the fact that we turned out, that we called our supervisors, that we called our federal representative, that's going to make a difference and help us to stop this and have a more sane situation in the GGNRA. So the next speaker is a great leader for us and is always there on this issue for us, and that's Sally Stevens of SF Dog.
Thank you all for coming out today. I know that with workday and stuff, it's kind of hard. I'm always really proud of the dog community. I mean, we look out for each other, we help each other. It's this great social community, and it's so needed in modern society and in a big city. But I've never been more proud than in the reaction to the GGNRA's plan. I mean, people are, they're making flyers, they're going out handing out the flyers at all the parks, they're contacting politicians, they're doing all the things that we need to get done. And it just grows up organically, and it's just wonderful to watch. And it's because of that, and because you guys are here and other places, that we've gotten to this point where we are actually trying to stop what was going to be a pretty bad thing from happening. The plan to cut 90% of off-leash in the GGNRA is really an extreme version of an idea about what a park should be. It's basically saying that parks are sort of almost like a museum that you put behind glass, and that you can't really interact with and get to. You can merely look, don't touch. And what active recreation is all about is about looking. It's all about touching and doing things and that sort of thing. And that's what we've had in the GGNRA for decades, and that's what we want to maintain, and hopefully we can keep. This is really part of a concerted effort to get people out of the parks, and we cannot let that stand. Are we going to let them push us out of the parks? No! Are we going to let them destroy the social communities at places like Fort Funston and Ocean Beach? No! Are we going to let them start over again. Clearly I wasn't a cheerleader either. Are we going to let them destroy social communities I just said that one. No! Will we let them take the R out of GGNRA? This is our chance. Please, if you have the time, go in and let the supervisors know. If you don't want to speak at the hearing, stop in at your supervisor and let them know that you're here and that you care about this issue. And even if you don't do it today, call them, email them, that sort of thing. Let them know that this is an issue that we all care about. Right now, we're at this is all about sharing space, and we can share space. We have been sharing space for decades, and we will continue to share space. So thank you all for coming, and basically, I hope I'll see a lot of you inside, and it's basically speak now or forever hold your leash. Thank you.
That's a good chant. Speak now or forever hold your leash.
The middle of the rally announcement. So this movement is all made up of volunteers. None of us get paid to do this stuff. So some awesome graphic artist volunteer made us a logo. And it's a kid and a dog with the Golden Gate Bridge in the background, and it says, "Preserve recreation." I can't see it. What does it say? For people and dogs in the GGNRA. So if you have a local pet store that you go to or a place where you think they put up the sign, come and talk to Dave, and he will give you some. And also, just to give credit to somebody else, this is Dave Emanuel. You may not know who he is, but he's a guy who lives in Glen Park and has a dog, and he's been doing all the media outreach for us. So you know all those news stories that we've been getting? It's because of him. Okay, so let's do a chant for Dave. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, recreation is what we're for. Ready?
1, 2, 3, 4, recreation is what we're for. 1, 2, 3, 4, recreation is what we're for. 1, 2, 3, 4, recreation is what we're for. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, so I got 2 volunteers who came up who were planning on making public comments and are willing to talk to you about what the impact of this proposal is on them and what they're hoping to say to the supervisors today. So the first one is Arnita Bowman. She is an auditor, and she's also this amazing dog activist who has read the 2,500-page environmental impact statement and analyzed it and read all the statistics about incidents in the GGNRA and has educated all of us about what's really going on and allowed us to cut through some of the rhetoric of the GGNRA to see that some of the claims are just not true. So give a hand for Arnita Bowman.
Just to repeat what Andrea said, I'm just a regular dog owner like you, and I tell you, it's like I go out in the parks and I see this wonderful place that we have, and I know how important it is to us. I mean, you see families, you see senior citizens out there. I know for myself, I got a dog 5 years ago, and ever since then, it's like you're out twice a day. You're out meeting the community. It's like this is so critical to the city of San Francisco and all 3 counties to make sure that we keep the access that we have. That's why I'm going through the 2,400 documents, because this is my daily life that I'm trying to keep as well as for everybody else. But as far as what I have to say to the supervisors today, it really comes down to, if you really look at the data and what they're saying is happening with the dogs, you know it, I know it, you're out there in the parks, you see how our dogs behave. We have the most awesome behaved dogs in the whole wide world here in San Francisco. I mean, they're talking about healthy parks. We live that every day with our dogs, and our dogs are the ones that get us out there and get us communing with nature and with the community. So it's like we've got to keep it. Instead of trying to get us out of the parks, they should be using us as a role model for the rest of the nation on what they should be doing to get people in the parks. I mean, the other thing is, as Andrea said, I've been through the documents. I've been through hundreds of thousands of law enforcement records. It's all junk science. That really is all that's there. It's like, if you want to look at the safety, it's like the dogs have very little impact on the park. I mean, yeah, there are some incidents that happen and they're being taken out of context, but it really is junk science. It's pretty much what they've got. It really is based upon the national park, an ill-advised bad park policy. So anyway, so that's what I have to say to board of supervisors. But we have to keep fighting because it really is important to us.
So I know we have to wrap up soon, both so people can go to work and so that we can get inside to the hearing room, but I just have two more people who are going to come up and speak. One is Keith McAllister. He's a representative of SF Dog. He's been involved in this issue for a long time. He was part of the negotiated rulemaking, which I'm not sure you guys know about, but it was when kind of the different interested parties got together and tried to see if they could come to an agreement about sharing the GGNRA, and they never were able to come to an agreement. But the other important thing about him is he's an avid birder. Okay, so again, emphasizing the fact that you can love birds and have a dog and love dogs and love off-leash dog walking. So please give a hand for Keith McAllister.
I see many old friends out there with scars like mine going back 20 years in this battle. The GGNRA made no attempt to analyze potential impacts on San Francisco parks if recreational dog walkers are displaced from GGNRA sites. They simply repeat, quote, "An increase in visitation in nearby parks is not likely," over and over again, in many instances where an increase in visitation is assured. Consider, for example, Fort Funston. Most of the off-leash area at Fort Funston will disappear under the preferred alternative. The many people who visit this heavily used park will not fit into the small areas remaining. Yet, GGNRA simply says, quote, "An increase in visitation in nearby parks is not likely." This allows the unsubstantiated conclusion that the preferred alternative will have, quote, "no indirect impacts on adjacent parks." This is arbitrary, capricious, and is not based on evidence at all. GGNRA did not even attempt to find out where people will go. The environmental impact statement identifies Lake Merced as the off-leash area nearest Fort Funston. But people displaced from Fort Funston go to Stern Grove, as all of you know. And this was demonstrated when Fort Funston was temporarily closed for the tsunami alert on Friday, March 11. The gardener responsible for Stern Grove reported that more than 200 dogs were in the off-leash area that day, when the peak count in that area is 60, and that only on weekends. The parking lot was full with cars circling the neighborhood. The experience at Stern Grove Pine Lake on March 11 is a preview of the results of drastically curtailing off-leash recreation at Fort Funston. So, I say to the supervisors, and I will say when we get in there, please pass the resolution. Tell GGNRA not to do it.